Hey folks, just want to talk to you, mainly talk to myself and talk about this 68 Camaro, because what I'm doing is fitting on the quarter panels, but the inner wheel houses had to be mounted, but the inner wheel houses were highly modified, widening them for the mini tub kit, and then getting them back in the proper order so there's a nice tight fitment everywhere, especially around the wheel arch openings. I'm always looking for peer reviews to either mainly receive them or conduct them. I've seen 68 Camaros, 69 Camaros that are done with the Dynacorn body, and panels don't fit right. I'm not saying that's Dynacorn. I'm saying it's probably the person putting it together, the metal worker. Not necessarily a Dynacorn, but probably the person in the shop doing it. So I've found that the wheel houses often on those cars, they're not even welded together, meaning that, and I'm going to show you in the video, that the outer wheelhouse needs to be firmly attached to the quarter panel, and they need to be welded, okay, to get a firm, strong car. And all the cars that I build here, I make sure that that happens with the proper alignment, proper fitting. And I'm going to just talk to you now about it, what I'm finding on these panels. And this is the third fitting of this quarter panel on this car, and it's almost there. Okay, there's a couple things I'm going to show you on the camera, mainly on the wheelhouse, to just illustrate. So, and hopefully the battery does not die. So I want you to see this gap here is, I'm not going to say it's an error or a flaw, but I close that in, I weld that tight, which I'm going to do. Notice how that the quarter panel, the battery is kind of low, so I'm going to have to wrap this up quickly, maybe make a part one and a part two. Notice how the quarter panel goes on top of the tail panel, and things that I look for is alignment. You know, the way the lines go makes it a bit easier when you try to put it together. You know, this needs to be roughly correct. We want to look for, you know, this needs to come over, of course, more, but it's not all the way on. The holes are drilled here, and this part right here hangs off a little bit too much, more than I want, but I still have to put in a drip rail. But I'm looking here, this is a nice tight alignment. It's even, which is what I'm looking for. And I did replace this bottom part, and there's the wheelhouse that's significantly wider than the stock, which is exactly what the customer wants. But look here, this part right here doesn't quite fit in here tightly, so this is my mark where to stop on the cuts and where to make the cuts, because this needs to go underneath this tail panel. I've already welded in the trunk drop off right here. I've already welded that in, so I need to go ahead and make sure that this is trimmed properly to fit. Also, right here, I need to make some holes for where this quarter panel welds into the trunk drop off, which is right here. Okay, so I'm going to have to make marks on that. Now, this is the part I wanted to draw your attention to. It's black and white, it's hard to see the contrast, but this is a very tight fit all along in here, which is what I want it to be. Now, the quarter still needs to come in, which it will come in once I get this fixed. It'll go right in where it needs to go. Now, this wheelhouse is much wider than stock. I cut the frame off. This is the third mini tub kit that I've done. The red marks are where I need to patch it. some holes, some little areas that I felt were weak, so I enlarged them to make them so I can weld it in better. These holes are where the strut goes to hold the upper body panel in place. Now right here, this quarter is supposed to go right in here flat on top of the rocker, which it will go in. I just have to bend this up and I have to drill some holes. Sorry about the air compressor kicking on. If I remembered that would kick on, I would shut it off for this video. So this is, this right here is an area that I need to build back out on the rocker because it was rotted. And then this piece right here is the piece that goes on the outer wheelhouse. I had to cut that off to make this come out, which I've got the parts for it, so I need to do some fabrication on that and then weld that piece back in after the rocker panel extension comes out, wrapping around to the wheelhouse. Now the wheelhouse appears to be in the right place. It matches here, which is what I wanted it to do. I've already fit this in once. I built the wheelhouse, put it back in, and put the quarter on, and it does fit except for the few areas like back here and up front that's a little tight, which I will go ahead and fix. So it's not hard work, but it's detailed, and it's a bit of a how do I say it? It's detailed work, and attention to detail, as we said in the Army, is make or break on this kind of work, which is what I like to do. It's enjoyable work, fun work, but it's very time consuming, and it's very difficult to find people to come and do this kind of work. I've had a lot of people come and go, but it's job security. So I enjoy doing this. I'm always trying to learn, do things better. This is the third Camaro I've done the mini tub kit to, so of course I'm doing it better than the other two. I've looked at the photos of the first two, and there's a lot of weaknesses in there, a lot of room for improvement, which I did do in this one, and I'm sure the next one I do will be better than this one. Same thing goes with the Mustang, same thing goes with that Satellite over there, and the Alfa Romeo that I have, because I've got a second Alfa Romeo coming, and a third one coming. Which is good. I enjoy it. But time and space, those are all factors that we have to consider. And of course skills and budgets. Not everybody can spend $1,500, $1,800 a week. That's a lot of money. It really is. So I spread that around between 2 or 3 cars to get this done. But it's fun work, it's enjoyable work, it's rewarding work. So just kind of give you a snapshot of what I'm doing here on this Camaro, so you can kind of get an understanding. I'm sure there's a lot of smarter people out there watching this than me, but that's fine. It is what it is. And peace, tschüss. Have a good day, everybody. See ya.